Okay, then I would say let's start. Say welcome again to all of you who found a way online for our webinar. Today we will speak about the ROI guarantee for your content, sustainable, successful, and scalable. My name is Björn. I'm the Director of Digital Strategies Group, EMEA. And besides me is...
Someone else.
Someone else.
Hello from me too. I'm Svetlana. I'm team lead of SEO consulting in Searchmetrics Digital Strategies Group. And I would also like to wish you welcome to our webinar.
Yes. So what we will speak today about is, of course, introducing the Digital Strategies Group. For those who haven't heard about it, the Digital Strategies Group is an integrated consultancy here at Searchmetrics. Our team of data scientists, strategists, and marketers are focusing on unlocking the mysteries of online performance and trying to help our customers to grow actually their performance online. And this through 3 different pillars. The first one is strategic consulting, where we actually look at the DNA of a company and of a website and trying to make the best out of it, given by the resources they have, given by the resources we have, and of course our know-how. Then this traditional SEO consulting, where we look technically on a website and trying to make a website accessible and performant for search results and for Google, so that Google can read and crawl it better. And on the other hand, we are heavily investing in content marketing services, where we're trying to come up with content audits, content strategies, and of course content production. So an entire cycle of content marketing services where we can support you based on data, of course, and with our awesome software together. This is what we do here at the Searchmetrics Digital Strategies Group. And some clients already got some satisfying results from us. Here's just a list of them, and all I want to say here is that you're in good company with us. And so we start with the agenda, and what we will have a look at first is the importance of content creation for businesses, so giving you some numbers actually. Then the most common content creation mistakes which we see from our client base, which we see from other companies we have a look at. Some best-in-class examples of content where it's really well done. Measure and track performance and updates, giving you some examples here. And then, of course, explaining our approach on this with the content cycle story and why to choose the Digital Strategies Group.
The importance of content creation for businesses. First, I want to say we work with a lot of enterprising companies trying to support them in achieving their goals. And we were really experienced with dealing with content and reaching out to the right audience. But what we know is when we look at the numbers for digital content production in a year, we see a spend of over $145 billion, and 80% of this content is completely hidden. This means that production of the content is not giving the results as we expected. So 160 billion per year is wasted on content. And these are really, we could say, bad numbers. If we look at Content Marketing Institute and their latest research, we will see of all B2C companies who got questioned about their content marketing, you can see that 83% of them use content marketing. But 88% of B2B companies also rely on content marketing to reach out their business goals. Yet only 38% of them think they have an effective content marketing strategy. This is really low number, I would say. If this means that 62% of all marketing is guessing. They're creating content they're not sure of. They're posting this content online, but they're either not measuring their return on investment, or they're measuring it with wrong resources, I would say.
This is quite impressive, right? So
yeah, these numbers are huge. And when you look at them, you could see like something is wrong. Something in content marketing production is definitely wrong.
Yeah, be it on the know-how level, be it on the execution level, be it on the measuring level. So yeah.
Yeah, it looks kind of scary.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah. So most common content creation mistakes. We can go through them, but of course, the first one is creating thin, irrelevant, or duplicate content. This is something most of the companies struggle with. They know they need to produce content, they need to post frequently online, but this content oftentimes doesn't even have a traffic. or the content is not relevant, not following industry trends. They're posting information about the company, they're posting some trends they hear about, or maybe copy pasting content from different sources, but this is something that is not performing. So in a way, they're not really focused on search intention or user intent. What do user actually search for? What do they want to hear about? And how you actually build your own authority in the field. So you can say that there is no reliable content strategy along the whole sales funnel. And there is no, unfortunately, this is something that hurts us because we are a data-driven company. We don't like seeing this, but we see it really often. Companies are not tracking or not updating the content. They post it once, it's alive for good, and this is it.
Publish and forget.
Yeah, post and leave it there. The other one, the other most common problem is keyword cannibalization. So companies create similar content targeting the same audience and targeting the same keywords. So in a way, when you search, you can see that in Google search results, when you search for some topic and you see the same brand ranking for several different positions with different pages of their website. This means that they didn't really build a strategy around those pages. They just posted several different pages and they're competing for the same search intent actually. And this is also one of the most common mistakes.
And this is so funny, actually, because I mean, this is this example is very, it's very obvious, and it's an example which nowadays happen very often. We see this very often.
Yeah, we
right?
see it on a daily basis. I would say the whole consulting team sees this on a daily basis. And unfortunately, companies want to compete with their competition, but they are not aware of the fact that they are competing with themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, not tracking and updating content. This is my favorite part. Because if you don't track what you posted and don't make sure that there are clear measurements and clear, unique and custom KPIs for your business, then you don't know how to measure it and you don't know how to update it actually. Because if you don't know what is wrong, then how could you know how to create different and better content for your audience? And also ignoring your target audience. Sometimes we ask our clients, who is your target audience? And especially with large and enterprise clients, their answer is everyone. I'm having an online shop, so everyone is my client. Well, I don't think so. Some of them have experience, I must say, but they mostly rely on demographics.
Yeah, and it's especially on the content level, like the wording and the way they want to approach the customers doesn't fit at all to the personality, right?
No, not at all. And since they use paid traffic mostly, they rely on pay-per-click. They think that they know their audience when they look at the demographics. So they say, okay, I know it's women are my target audience from 20 to 30. They live in Berlin, for example, and they are highly educated, but that's it. They are not creating their target audience personas. Here you can see an example of audience metrics. So persona Carly is not just a persona as a female or persona that belongs to a specific location. She has her user needs. She wants a quality education that she can afford. And then we know there are specific user tasks and specific behavior patterns and the personality of Carly. And she knows her way how to search. And if you create content knowing what are the needs of your audience, then this content will get to the right psychographics and they will have the right lifestyle, values, interests, personality, and behavior. This is really important. And I think even for largest e-commerce shops or largest publishers, you can build up, if it's many personas, you can build 5 or 10, but don't stick to everyone. Everyone doesn't work. Especially online, everyone doesn't work. What to focus on actually, and how to create the content that will perform. This is one of our goals during this webinar, and we would like to show you our new approach, and that is consolidate everything you know about your audience, about the content that is written on your pages, about goals of your businesses, and try to put it all together. So don't create an article, don't create one single article that talks about the topic, create article that is holistic. These are pages that we create also together with our clients. We create pages that have integrated different kinds of communication. We can see, for example, if this example of sales funnel, you know how to create a page that will arrange the awareness, consolidation, transaction, and customer relationship. So you want to be sure when you create holistic page that has integrated videos, articles, bullet lists, you want to make sure where this page belongs.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense to to have a look at the sales funnel overall when creating content, because at that 80% of Google searches actually is purely informational. And then just another 10% is actually transactional driven, and the other 10% is just navigational driven. So if we have a look at the sales funnel here, where we have the most searches in the awareness and consideration phase, and then just 10% at the transaction phase, then we can adapt it actually to a pure search. Let's have a look at something when somebody is looking for a Christmas gift for him or her. In this case, we have a Christmas gift for him. So we see that the awareness level, people are searching. They don't know yet what to buy. So they're just looking for something up, and then they come to a consideration phase where they know, okay, a cordless drill could be something for my boyfriend or husband or so. And then when they decide, okay, there's a cordless drill I want to buy, then maybe they are searching for more tests or comparisons or stuff like that. And at the end, they come to a transaction where they know what exactly they want to buy. In this case, a Bosch cordless drill, right? And as soon as they bought it, then of course they come into the customer relationship phase where they need some more equipment around it, a battery, stuff like that actually. And you see that what's really interesting is that at the top of funnel here, awareness and consideration, the search volume is the highest. And then just on the transaction level, it's falling down. It's getting lower and lower, and even on the customer relationship.
Our clients will say we only need a transactional.
Yeah, that's always the case. Yeah. But if you see in total, and if you actually considering the whole sales funnel at all, then you come to a cumulative search volume which is far higher than just one single phase, right? So let's jump into a practical example here as well. So given the fact that I'm assuming Lego, the company, should appear here. So when I on the top of funnel of the search funnel, when I look for toys for children, so I don't know what actually I want to buy for my children. So top of the funnel, there's no Lego appearing whatsoever, no Lego.
This is 80% of the whole search.
This is 80% of the whole search.
And Lego is not there.
When we go to the middle of the funnel, where I know, okay, I want to buy some Lego Ninjago sets. My son is going nuts currently after Lego Ninjago. That's why I put the example here. Then, of course, it's a transactional driven search phrase, and Lego is, of course, findable here because it's a Lego product, right? So, but it doesn't stop here, because when we move to the bottom of the funnel, my son, he has all this Lego Ninjago stuff, and there are some different characters, and his most favorite character is Lloyd. And all these Lego Ninjago have different elemental powers, and he wants to know what elemental power Lloyd has. And if you see here that Lego is not findable here as well. So they're giving actually top of the funnel and bottom of the funnel to third parties, or to second parties actually, to blogs, forums, and all these websites. So they don't get the traffic here. And that's something they miss. And I just want to say that it's really important that people are, considering this.
Yeah, definitely. And also what is the main concern is if you have limited budget and you want to invest in content, you question yourselves, should I invest in top of the funnel? But if you take all the other facts into concern, like user intent and creating your buyer's persona and creating awesome long content that will actually answer your users' questions, your potential leads questions, then it makes sense to create informational content for the top of the funnel. Definitely.
Yeah.
Also, we would like to show some best examples for creating content in our industry and how removing old content from the website. This is also one of the major goals, removing old content that is not performing. You can take a look at your website and its current state now. And if you see that the website has a lot of content that is not performing, but this content is well written and you should give it a chance, then of course you need to update the content. But if you have a lot of content that is not performing and is not really fit to your business, then this content needs to be removed, because misbelief that everyone has is posting more and more content will lead to more traffic and more results in your business, which is not the case, definitely. And we would like to show you one of the cases that we've been working with. It's fliege.de, German website. That's a content-based website dedicated to older audience and their health issues and lifestyle content topics. In the year of 2016, 95% of the whole content from the website was removed. It was thin, irrelevant content. It didn't have any purpose on the website. And the achievement is more than 240% in visibility. And this is really amazing result, and it's not the only one.
And it was actually a smart move from fliege.de, because what they wanted to do was relaunching the website, knowing that it's not appealing, very modern anymore. And they knew that they have a lot of content garbage actually on the website. So we worked with them together and consolidated a lot of URLs and text and, removed a lot of URLs, which wasn't generating traffic anymore. This is actually a brilliant use case here.
Definitely. And also, when you look at the things that's been done on one of the article pages, article page is longer. It has table of content on the side. It has unordered lists and markups, so you can see the most important content. Also info boxes, a lot of images and call to actions, and also conversion trigger to actually get lead generation from this page. And this is how you create holistic long page that answers your user needs, but also gives you valuable information. And it's not only search engine friendly, it's also user friendly. And I think this should be the main goal. If you show the content on the page in the right way, if you write the right content, then it must perform better than 100 other articles with no value.
Definitely. So one approach would be removing old content, consolidating content, which makes more sense for the user. And the second one is actually focusing really on holistic content. And this can lead to awesome growth. And we have another example here from Germany, which is Springlane. Springlane is actually a kitchenware website where you can buy kitchen stuff. And
it's actually e-commerce website.
Yeah, it's an e-commerce website,
for
exactly.
Kitchen equipment.
But what they have done is building a nice case out of informational content, where they went into competition with one or more of the biggest recipe websites in Germany. And what you see here is a plus of 400% visibility in 2016. And this is mainly based on informational content. And let's jump into one article or one use case, which is boiling an egg. I mean, boiling an egg, everybody knows how to boil an egg, but this approach here on the articles is very sophisticated and very academic, I would say.
Definitely. And when you look at the search term, who wants to rank for boiling an egg?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every Sunday you get the most traffic on your website.
Exactly. And this is really interesting case for me, because they're not a content-based company. And the whole way how they created their holistic approach is like they're a media company or a marketing agency, and not a household selling website, which is really amazing. And it shows so much opportunity from the content. And this is also clear top of the funnel search query, I would say, right? The one that belongs to the 80%.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's jump into an article here. You already see that the displaying in Google is very prominent, I would say. So they have this so-called answer boxes, featured snippets here on the very top, and ranking on the first organic result as well. So, and if we look into an article of this, how to boil an egg, I mean, look at how long the content is just for boiling an egg. And they have actually everything in there. And if we just throw that into our own software, where we come up with content scores and some other KPIs we just invented, then you see that they have actually a content score of 93%, which is above the average of 75, right? So they have nearly 300% more content than the top 30 competitor URLs, and the keyword coverage of 88%. So the whole piece of content is very holistic. It's actually covering everything which you can write about how to boil an egg. And this one here is the performance in Google from just a single URL. And this is an amazing view, because what they also did is not actually just publishing and forget. They measured everything on the URL, and then they updated it when they saw that it's stagnating. Look at this now. So the initial publishing date was in the year of 2016, and then they already saw some autumn growth, but then it stagnated somehow. What did they do? They updated the content, and you see there's an additional growth phase here, and then another initial growth phase after then second update phase. So this is a very sophisticated content marketing approach, I'd say. So this actually means update one article and don't write many, because this is something we see. It's like publishing as hell, just for the sense of content, or just for the good of content. But it's not the smartest approach, I'd say.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time and effort to write an amazing article, to find the right search query, to actually build the whole content around it. So if you focus on number rather than quality, you will just end up producing low quality content, or maybe buying it from text brokers, but it's not performing.
Definitely, yeah. And so the first approach, as we said, was very holistic approach to writing content, removing all content and consolidating content. Look at really the key KPIs here, and just throw content away or consolidate, which is not useful anymore. The second thing is updating, measuring content performance actually, and updating when it's stagnating or going in the wrong direction. And the third one is that I'd say keep it niche. And there's a brilliant example from the US here, which is About.com. I don't know if you're familiar with About.com, but About.com launched in 1997 or so. It was one of the world's most visited websites. And the model was actually same as AOL or MSN. It was just a big general information website, right? But the problem they actually had while the web was, developing, is that advertisers actually avoided About.com to advertise there because it was too general. It was too generic. It was you couldn't actually target close enough to personas and stuff because it was just too general. So the investor and CEO of About.com, Neil Fogel, he came up with the idea actually to actually shut down About.com and to split all the content into different domains. And there's one quote of him which I think it's a brilliant quote, because he said, "This is either going to work and be great success, or we're going to crash the plane." So he actually took the whole risk of shutting down a good performing website and splitting it into different domains. So what they did in the beginning was like that they took around 100,000 pieces of health content from About.com and threw 50,000 in the garbage because they were old. So what we saw from the other website as well, right? And you could actually think now, okay, Google is, and Facebook as well, they're actually looking at it, okay, there's new domains and, it needs to grow, but it wasn't the case because they could scale it so much. It was a brilliant use case. And what you see here on the left is the performance in Google from About.com, where you can see that it goes obviously very steep down.
And they were losing it.
Yeah, they were losing a lot, and then they shut it down. And on the right side, you see all these verticals they just opened up, right? And all these verticals together have far more visibility than About.com in the days before. And even some single domains have today more visibility than About.com had already. And the advantage here with, let's say, niche pages is, in my opinion, is really big. So because the user intention, you can satisfy the user intent far better than with a general website, right? I mean, definitely. You can target content, you can target the whole call to actions, you can target it far better. Then you can build up a specific fan base, user base. Let's say you can play around with text length, and you can actually write text which is adequate to the user's need. You can better internal connect everything together. There's so much advantages here. I don't want to name them all, but this is a brilliant example. And in my belief, and you worked for a publishing website as well, right? And I did as well.
We both did.
And I believe if a publisher, like a big publishing website, a news website, is breaking everything down into silos, to niches, would be a perfect case, I guess. Definitely. I mean, imagine that one of the biggest, news site would actually split their evergreen parts like recipes or automotive content into own domains with all the content which is already there.
Unfortunately they did it in reverse. They had, as I remember, in old times, most of the publishers had it on subdomains, but then got it all back to generic content into one domain.
Yeah.
And I think nowadays when you look at the niche and everything we do to actually target the right audience, it is not that case anymore. And I must say about .com, it's highly risky. Yeah. Not all the niches were actually working. When you look at the results, some of them didn't work out. But I think the key for everything is to measure, track, and see performance of the website. And if you could track all of the categories in your website, for example, if you have a huge generic website, then you would know who your audience is and where is a chance that you split something and actually create a whole website out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that our next part of the webinar can help you with. And this is how to actually track, measure, and see the performance of everything that you do. Of course, we use a lot of tools to track it. One of the most common that most of the websites use is Google Analytics, of course, or Adobe Analytics, or any other tool that you use to track your audience. But somehow from our experience, we can see that content marketers, SEOs, or everyone who is tracking the performance of the website, they're kind of stuck in tracking visitors numbers and tracking conversions, and everything else is irrelevant for them. But all of the low-hanging fruits you can actually find in tracking the different parts of the website. For example, new versus returning visitors. How valuable is your brand to your customer? Do they return to you or they just visit you once? And also the bounce rate can show you, this is really good content indicator, because if you look at the bounce rate and time spent on the page, then you will know, does your audience actually read the article or they just bounce back? Or article or some content that is written on your website is maybe that bad that they lose the trust and they leave right away. And bounce rate is an indicator that shows you something. Of course, not for all types of websites, because usually in the mobile world, and especially with publishers, as we mentioned them earlier, we are used to just go through diagonally through the news, so we don't spend that much time. But if it's e-commerce website or especially lead generation website, then all those tracking indicators are really important.
And I think the main takeaway here is, like, whenever you plan a content marketing strategy or so, you should definitely have a goal with it, like a KPI you want to follow.
And it's not always the same.
No,
it's different.
And it's not only traffic. If you ask somebody, what's your goal? And he says traffic. And then you can actually ask 2 more whys or 3 more whys. Why traffic? Because we want to sell more. So you want more conversion and so on. So I think it's really crucial that before you plan to publish anything or, optimize anything on the website, that you have a plan of KPIs and measure it.
Definitely, yeah. And I must say KPIs must be different for each and every niche. They can be different compared to your competition, because when you benchmark against competitors, then you will see, do they do something differently? So maybe in your area, the content is shorter, it's performing in a different way. Maybe they use videos or they use infographics or something else that you should also implement in your strategy. So it's all collecting different sorts of data. One other example that we also have is not tracking micro conversions. We all know, like, we want to sell, we want to get leads, or we want visitors to read our articles. But there is so much more in between of these lines with micro conversions. And it's not about the purchase. You can also evaluate micro conversions and see, does your content perform? Because if someone is adding to the cart and not buying, maybe they're not that convinced with what you wrote about the product. Or if they subscribe about the product and you are not supporting them with additional information and creating different content for them, then you're losing it. Or maybe you can track micro conversions from visits to the landing page and you see everyone is dropping from the landing page. So content may not be working. It is not always user experience or conversion rate optimization, as SEOs would say. So content has a lot of influence into micro and micro conversions. What we do at Searchmetrics and what our clients really love is building custom-made dashboards with their own KPIs. So if we have a lead generation website that has high competition and different needs of their own websites, of course, it doesn't make any sense to track usual data that we track. We want to make custom-made dashboards with specific URLs, with SEO visibility, with everything you need to make sure that content is performing. We want to see the value of market share Is it growing? Is it narrowing? And we want to see, of course, winners keywords compared against competition. And you can also show another slide where we can track per URL. So if you pick specific URL and you want to see data that is extracted for all of the analytics tools that you have and for our amazing platforms that we have, we can then make sure if the content is really performing or not.
Yeah, this is really crucial that you actually just focus on those URLs where you publish the content to reduce a lot of noise.
This is what I forgot to say, but this is really important because we watch websites as overall project, but sometimes there is some specific areas we want to work at, and this is why they need to be separately installed in the dashboard rather than tracking everything.
And then always on the predefined KPIs, as we just mentioned before, right? You should have a goal with it to increase some KPIs, and these KPIs should be considered here.
Also, now this leads to another topic, and this is content evolution cycle, something that we do at Searchmetrics Digital Strategies Group. We have teams of strategic consultants, SEO consultants, and content marketers. And what we did, we tried to figure out how to create an amazing case of using agile approach in creating content and optimizing the website to reach to the best goals. What we did together, we built up so-called content evolution cycle. That is a mutual work of all our strengths. So we used all our strengths to build up something amazing. So with the new approach, our content creation is based on the SEO checkup. How is your website performing at the moment? Do you have any technical issues? Anything that is stopping your content from giving the right performance as you expect? Then we build up unique custom-made strategy for your own website. So we analyze your buyers' personas, we analyze your niche, competition, everything around, and we build custom-made strategy that will actually help you perform. And then we create amazing content for your pages. We make sure that content will perform with our data that we have, and we have a lot of data at Searchmetrics. And then the content is published, and of course, we are tracking it through our dashboards. So we use a reporting, and we update the content when it stops performing. It sounds like a lot of work, and it is a lot of work, but if you want to achieve the success in business, you need to focus on the areas that have a potential actually to perform better.
Yeah. And I think this is perfect, actually perfectly fits to all the use cases we just saw in the webinar, because it's filling all those gaps, right? And I'm pretty excited about this. So before I'm ending this now and do my introduction, to ask you if you have any questions, just put it in the team chat. So because this will be the last slide and then we are done, and we are happy to answer any questions if you have so. But if you, however, need help or think this was really interesting and you want to grow your online performance, then you can get in touch with us. You can request a proof of concept with us. Just visit searchmetrics.com DSG. That's a short URL, short from URL for the Searchmetrics Digital Strategies Group. And as I said in the beginning, we can help you with content marketing services, SEO consulting, or strategic consulting. Svetlana, was fun.
Yeah, it was really fun. I hope it was fun for listeners as for us.
Yeah, we hope that you could take away a bit, and would love to see your comments and would love to see questions if you have so feel free to do so. Otherwise, you will get the presentation sent by email with all the contact details. If you want to get into contact afterwards, we are happy to help, listen, and answer everything. Right.
You can reach out to us through the URL presented on the screen at the moment, but you can also write to us or find us on social media and get in touch for us for any additional questions. Perfect. Because we love talking about data and SEO. This is something we can do nonstop all day long.
Okay, so thank you very much for attending this webinar, and hopefully we will speak to each other soon. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you, Björn. Thanks, everyone. Bye.